There was another airplane parked on the far side, a twin-prop plane larger than the single-engine plane she'd arrived in, but still a far cry from the commercial jets she was used to. Otherwise, the small building mostly housed maintenance equipment. A battered old pickup truck with a plow mounted on the front, a tractor with a wide rake attachment, a dusty brush hog, chainsaws, all things she was used to seeing in the barns and garages of her childhood. Except for the transportation, Alaska was, so far, not the culture shock she'd been expecting, or, if she was being totally honest with herself, that she'd been hoping for. She'd wanted a change. She'd wanted to get far, far away and start over in a place that was new and different. So far, it looked like all she'd done was move back to her rural Wisconsin hometown, conifer trees, snow, and farm implements included. A woman stood just inside the door, bundled in a heavy down parka, an Ushanka hat, and thick hide gloves. Though Grace had never seen her before, she knew it had to be Margaret Hudatiltic, the superintendent of the Teaconlit Valley School District and principal of both the elementary and the secondary school. She looked to be in her mid-50s, with a freckled brown face, lightly weathered in a healthy, frequently outdoors kind of way. A long braid, silver-threaded with black, emerged from her ushanka and lay over her shoulder. Her eyes were a surprisingly pale gray against her tawny brown skin. A smile stretched her cheeks, and she stepped forward to intercept Grace with a handshake. "She made it!" Margaret's gloved hand enclosed Grace's. "I hope Caleb didn't talk your ear off." She shot the pilot a teasing smile. He responded by dumping Grace's bags on the floor at her feet. "No, he—" Grace glanced uncertainly at the taciturn pilot, glimpsing only his back as he pushed the door open and disappeared back into the cold. He was an excellent pilot." Margaret gave her an apologetic look. "He's the best there is, but he's not exactly a one-man welcome wagon. Anyways, you're here. I'm Margaret Hudatiltic. It's nice to finally meet you, Grace." "Thank you. It's good to finally meet you, too." Margaret released her hand. "All right, let's get your bags loaded up and we'll get you set up at the Spruce. I'm sure you're tired after traveling all day." "A little," she agreed politely. In truth, she was exhausted, but she was always exhausted. She could never seem to get enough sleep, and at the same time could never fall entirely asleep either. She spent her days and nights caught in a half-conscious state of perpetual, mind-spinning fatigue. Margaret helped her carry her things out another door to the other side of the building, where an old black Suburban sat idling. Longtooth's airstrip was only a 2-minute drive from the center of the little town, visible from the main street. "There are basically 2 main roads in Longtooth," Margaret explained. Towering snowbanks lined the gravel road. Both sides of the street were bordered by rows of weathered, metal-sided buildings in a motley patchwork of faded blues, grays, and reds. There was a combination grocery and hardware store, a lawyer's office, a small medical clinic, a bank, and the post office. Archaic-looking power lines spidered out from each building, accumulating in a mass around a single overburdened electrical transformer mounted high above the street. The river curved close to the road on the eastern side, wide as a freeway. The ground sloped upward from the river. A few narrow streets spidered along the slopes. Small, boxy, log-sided houses sat at irregular distances and angles from each other, rising above the main road. Further up the slopes, the houses gave way to a thick forest of needled conifers. From there, the ground rose steeply, transitioning into rocky mountainsides, forming towering walls that cradled the city from the east and west. Grace could only see a narrow way.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.